Welcome back. Today's little project will be a home for this size of a die. It's got a 25mm OD, and I want to make a floating die holder out of it, out of this piece of stock here. Now there's already a hole drilled in it and threaded. I'm not exactly sure what size it is. I'm gonna drill it out of a 12mm end mill and then see if it cleans up. If it cleans up, then I'm going to use a hardened piece of ground stainless rod. And if it doesn't clean up, then I'm going to go for plan B, which is a piece of 60mm mild steel rod, which needs to be cleaned up. So this will be a relatively simple job. You can make it a beginner's project as you will. And yeah, let's get cracking. Okay, it's not cleaning up, so I need to go to a bigger size. changed my mind and I've decided to use this shock piston from a motorcycle. It's made of carbon steel and it's a pretty nice fit in the main body, and I've got an added bonus of having the cross also already drilled. So I'm just going to chop it off the length and then just clean up the ends, and then I can start the milling on the body. I found the center here, and I've used edge finder to find the edge here, and I've done my offsets. And just for a sanity check, I'll just put the die on top and see if the line holds up, and it does. So now I can drill the hole. Okay, so I've done a slot here. I've started with a 4mm carbide end mill to start off the slot, then working my way up in 1mm increments, switch to a 5mm, then to a 6mm to reduce the stress on the machine and to stop the end mill from wandering off. Now what I do to get to the 2 points here on my DRO, I'm using my SDM function. Currently on the side it's set on 1. When I go to SDM2, I use my X to work my way to 0 and then back, so I'm cutting back and forth. So I'm just using the DRO to make my life a little bit easier. I've changed my mind. I've decided that one slot should be sufficient. I've got a grub screw in there that goes through both walls of the inner tube, and it's got a nice sliding fit. I've tapped the other hole off camera, and they line up perfectly with the die. Dimple. These dies have got 4 dimples in a 45-degree pattern, and I think 2 is sufficient to hold the die in place. Now I'm not going to use this holder for power tapping. I'll be turning the chuck manually, because I know for a fact this machine is hopefully too fast for me, because at 160 RPM is the lowest I can go on it, and it's going to shoot through this length of, it's around 50 millimeters. It's going to shoot through it very quickly. Now my idea is to hold it in a normal drill chuck in a tailstock, and if I should find that it slips at the back, then I'll cut in 3 flats. But other than that, I think this thing is done. Okay, before we start testing, this is something that I need to bring to your attention. I know some guys will already know this and others won't. So I'm not going to make an assumption that everybody that views this channel knows this. Now when you're cutting with dies, and say for argument's sake you want to cut a 12mm thread like this cap screw here, you cannot make an assumption that you must cut your stock to 12mm and you'll get your thread done. Now any bolt, metric bolt, is cut a little bit undersized. As you can see, this one is 0.12mm undersized. Got a 10mm bolt here. This one is 0.16mm undersized. Got a 6mm here. Let's get a proper reading here. This one is almost 0.1mm undersized. 8mm grub screw. 0.11mm undersized. So the golden rule is to cut it more or less 0.1mm undersized if you want a really snug fit. If you're going to leave it on size, you're just going to strip your stock. You're not going to get your thread cut. Okay, so on that note, I'm going to do preparation on a piece of stock I've got in the chuck here. It's Taran stainless. So this is worst case scenario, so let's see how it goes. Okay, this machine doesn't have enough torque to run this size of thread. But that's why I said I'm not really going to use it for power tapping. Maybe on a smaller diameters, but as you can see, it does cut the thread nicely. Okay. It doesn't look too bad. And then, yeah, I'm experiencing a little bit of slippage here, so I'll cut the thread, or not thread, 3 flats on it off camera. I'll just put it in a collet and run it. I hope this build is insightful. It's a very simple tool, but it works very well if you can get your machine to run it. Very easy to make, little material needed, just a lot of precise measurements on the internal bores and your slot. Other than that, very easy. Alright, see you next time.